All right, if you guys follow the channel or have iOS 18.4 installed and have been using it for the last week or so, you guys are probably well aware of all of the issues and bugs that are plaguing 18.4. So, if you are on the latest update, you are obviously aware that 18.4 is the most recent one, and it is coming in with a build number of 22E240. However, these new updates that it provided, the new emojis and new sketch style options, they weren't worth some of these bugs that were introduced. It has been plagued this whole release cycle. iOS 18 as a whole has been a real cluster for Apple. Hopefully iOS 19 will improve on that, but we'll talk about all of that in a future video. For this one though, if you're running 18.4, there have been numerous CarPlay issues where the voice dictation when you are using Siri to speak, which obviously is very important when you're driving and trying to eliminate any sort of distractions, this wouldn't activate. So you'd be restricted to back to your touch input trying to get that resolved. Not ideal again when driving. Then also, if you use the Square app for payments, that was also now causing issues where it would not load and it would crash. So if you were a small business and utilized Square here for payments, they even advised not to update because of all the issues it was causing. And yeah, you might not have even been able to take payments from your customers. There's also an issue where deleted apps were being reinstalled on here that might have been downloaded and uninstalled years ago. I don't know what's causing that. That is a new one, but that was present in 18.4 alone as well. We've talked about that before also. And then we've already known for a while in settings that the search option here was terrible. It was hard to find things you might have needed. And now in here in 18.4, it intermittently was broken more than ever. So if you were to say search for haptics, this is loading this time, but sometimes it would not pull up any results. Not ideal again. We've already known how bad searching is in iOS. That just adds fuel to the fire there also. And then something we haven't experienced only a time or two, that was launching the camera app and actually having this freeze on us. Luckily, it hasn't been that big of an issue. We've experienced it more when shifting through different modes. But aside from that, we know a lot of people were experiencing that issue. And then the famous Wi-Fi bug. This has seemed to be improved here. I haven't experienced any issues where it wouldn't reconnect, but some people were still saying that's an issue. It could have been on an older gen iPhone. But again, something to be aware of nonetheless. And then obviously with everything going on here with iOS 18.5 already being in the works, we can think it's safe to say that April will give us this update for 18.4.1 with 18.5 being delivered in May. Now, when you ask in April, that is obviously TBD. We haven't seen a lot of logs for this new version yet. However, since we are already through the first full week in April, this could possibly be released around the week of the 14th, if not this week at all. If it comes the week of the 14th, I would fully expect it to come on a Monday or Tuesday, probably around the same time iOS 18.5 Beta 2 comes out. Usually they'll release those a day apart. So hypothetically say we get 18.4.1 on Monday, we'll get 18.5 Beta 2 on the 15th. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with iOS. You guys know my opinions here. I love the ideas and thoughts on iOS 19's redesign. It just brings a whole bunch of questions to the forefront on, I don't care if the phone looks great. Obviously, you want it to have a nice dynamic and customization option, but you want it to work, especially if you're making calls, especially if you're using Wi-Fi or taking photos, more so than what an icon style looks like. But again, we'll talk about that in our iOS 19 What's Coming video. But for now, comment down below. Let me know, are you experiencing any other issues with your iPhone in 18.4? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.